So let us start with this. Now, you know that this particular are the slide which is showing you different pictures that you can see this particular child. He is sick, but he is suffering from antibiotic resistance mycobacteriums. So those antibiotics are not effective and you can end up with complications. So today we are going to talk on that particular part. So antibiotic resistance, misuse, drug resistance, which bacteria develops, we call them as a superbugs. These are nothing else but the routine mycobacterium, or we call microorganisms, which are not damaged or which are not killed by routine antibiotics. Hence, they are labeled as superbugs. You will come across a group of people which will produce antibiotic resistance because of misuse, abuse, overuse, and underuse of antibiotics. And that will end up with what we call as a drug resistance. And indirectly, we can say that what we are creating every day in and out is biological bombs. We had recently one major epidemic of what we call as a COVID-19, but we are the people who are creating every day in and out large number of biological bombs, which we call as a superbugs. And that will remain in world for a longer period than COVID-19. And we should take all precaution to prevent this creation of biological bombs. So we'll be discussing under introduction, uses, or we call indications, misuse, abuse, overuse of antibiotic, effects of antibiotic resistance, and then we'll be discussing on the most important part of this lecture is prevention. Now we know that antibiotic is one of the most important discovery in the modern medicine. It is called a miracle. When antibiotic was discovered, it was a miracle for a disease which was produced by microorganism. First antibiotic which was discovered was penicillin. But even in spite of discovery of good number of antibiotics, because of inappropriate use of antibiotics like overuse, misuse, abuse, or underuse of antibiotics, or we call antimicrobials, we lead up into a collateral damage. And one of the most abnormal and bad damage, we call that as antibiotic resistance microorganisms. Now, suppose if we restrict the use of antibiotic, that will produce very high mortality in a seriously ill patient. We don't want that to occur. Hence, what we require is to prevent antibiotic resistance. So even WHO considers antibiotic resistance is one of the 3 greatest threats to human life. And one of the major threat which is at present is antibiotic resistance, because we cannot manufacture newer and newer antibiotic for each resistance microorganism. So this is a major risk. And we consider this as biological bombs. Now we know that antibiotic is absolutely necessary. Any person who is suffering from bacterial infection, you have to give antibiotics. But you have to prove that the person is having a bacterial infection. Now, if you use antibiotics, you can end up with antibiotic resistance. You can have hypersensitivity. You can have a direct toxic effect of antibiotic if it is given in a larger dose, or you can develop super infections. If you use properly, you can give a cure in that bacterial infection. But if you misuse or abuse or overuse, or you give a low dose or for limited period, short period, we call underuse, you can end up with multiple complications. And one of the dangerous complications is antibiotic resistance. So we don't want drug resistance to occur. And when the drug resistance occurs, you create a superbugs, and that superbugs will end up with what we call as a biological bombs, not for us, but also for future generation. We have got different drugs for different microorganisms. Say for bacteria, we have got antibacterials, or we call antibiotics. For viral, we have got antiviral. We have got antiparasitic agents, antifungal agents, but we cannot use antibiotics for viral infection. So this should be kept in mind. And at present, the biggest misuse of antibiotic is for viral infection, where antibiotic does not work. And then because of overuse and misuse, we are creating antibiotic resistance. We know that even in 1946, this is almost 75 years ago, Fleming was a person who discovered first antibiotic, that is penicillin. At that time, he warned the possible danger of antibiotic resistance. This was warned 75 years back. But it is like a dog tail. કૂતરાની પૂંછડી ગમે તેટલા વખત જમીનમાં દાટો તો જ્યારે કાઢો ત્યારે વાંકીની વાંકી જ હોય. And that is what we are creating. And we are creating newer and newer resistance microorganism. So we should try to prevent this. What we need a leader like this. These leaders are unique person who can change the entire world. So we need a good ideal antibiotic. Now at present, there is no ideal antibiotic which works almost on all microorganisms, which will not produce any side effects, which will not produce any antibiotic resistance. Yet such antibiotic is not invented. We need such, like this particular group of people who are ideal in their field. And these are what we call as an antibiotic resistance, or you can call them as drug resistant microorganism. These are all nuisance in the society, and they create biggest nuisance in society. Same way, a drug resistance microorganism, or we call biological bomb, are also dangerous for our entire society. We can call entire world. So we don't want biological bomb to occur. So why we are getting this? This is one picture which shows you two animal people, particularly we call poultry farms, the animal farms. Lot of antibiotics are utilized for this animal. So at this stage also, we are creating newer and newer resistance microorganism. So we should try to prevent those particular microorganisms to enter into resistance group. So misuse of antibiotic in poultry farms, different birds farms, as well as in agriculture industry also, there's a biggest use of antibiotics. So drug resistance we are creating, and those microorganisms which are resistant to routine antibiotic will produce a dangerous effects in human beings. We call them as a superbugs. So these are all those particular microorganisms which are resistant to routine antimicrobials, and they produce different complications. Why they are producing, we'll show you in another slide. Now, what is antibiotic resistance? Antibiotic resistance is defined as microorganisms that are not inhibited by, or usually which is achieved easily by, systemic concentration, we call minimal inhibitory concentration, of an antimicrobial agent with a normal dose, or which falls into minimal inhibitory concentration range. So in spite of reaching at this particular level, still you don't get the effect of that antibiotic on a microorganism. You will call that the microorganism has become antibiotic resistance. So drug resistance, where microorganisms like virus, bacteria, parasites, fungus, etc., they are not killed and you cannot limit their growth. And this becomes a resistance organisms. It is not only for bacteria, it is also for virus, it is also for parasites, etc. Now you can see in this particular slide that there is no resistant microorganism. They multiply. And when you give drug, all are killed. But suppose if there is one drug resistance microorganism, they multiply. When you give them drug, they do not get affected by these drugs. And this we call as group of microorganisms which are drug resistance. We call as resistance microorganism, or you can call them also as superbugs. And they will produce complications. They'll produce dangerous illness, and there will be high mortality. So you can see here, in a normal person, when you give a drug, this microorganism are killed. But in a mutant variety of a microorganisms, in spite of giving a drug, they survive and they results into multiplication, and they produce serious, dangerous disorders or dangerous disease. So this particular resistance can occur in bacteria, can occur in parasites, virus, fungi, and even cancer cells also become resistant to the different drugs. So this should be kept in our mind because we are creating all this. Very rarely we come across, sometimes there's a nice proverb. We call some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Same way, some microbes are born with resistance. We cannot prevent them, but we have created them. But some microorganisms, they achieve resistance by mutation. And this is created by a human being. So we don't want that to occur. At least we can prevent that. There is also something called as a cross resistance. Say one microorganism is resistant to cephalosporin, it will also create a resistance to other, what we call as microbes, will be resistant to other group of antibiotic like penicillin, ampicillin, etc., because they belong to one common group. So they develop what we call as a common cross resistance. That can happen. So one microorganism is, say, resistant to cephalosporin. It will be also resistant to methicillin. It will be also resistant to ampicillin, amoxicillin, etc. They all belong to one common group of antimicrobials. We are having a biggest problem at present in our India is multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, because this Mycobacterium tubercle is resistant to lot number of anti-tubercular drugs. And that is having a big problem in India as well as abroad. And that is all because of drug resistance. Now, why we are creating this drug resistance? One, because of overprescription that is done by a doctor. I do agree that good number of doctors overprescribes. Yes, there is a fault on the part of a doctor because that drug is also prescribed for viral infection where antibiotic is not effective. And it is given for any fever, which may not be by any microorganisms. In spite of that also, antibiotic is utilized very frequently and very commonly, and it is given to a large number of population. As well as there is a fault on the part of the patient. Patient is not finishing that treatment because as soon as they start taking antibiotic, if the fever is all right on second day, they will stop taking antibiotic and they will not finish the course. And another biggest problem is created by farming industries. Maybe an animal, maybe a fishery, maybe a bird industry, etc. There is a very, very severe overuse of antibiotics. And because of that, you are creating a resistant microorganism which are passed out in fecal matter of this particular farming industry, and that is passed on to a human being. Now, in hospital, we develop what we call as a microbes resistance. So a person who does not have infection, he goes to a hospital, he is, say, admitted for a control of hypertension, but in a hospital, he gets infection by microorganisms which are present in hospital. We call nosocomial infection or hospital-borne infection. These bacteria are already resistant to good number of antibiotics. Now, this person directly gets a resistance microorganism infection, and he ends up with a lot of complications. And another biggest problem, lack of hygiene and poor sanitation. Now, lack of hygiene is on both the side. On the side of a doctor, paramedical staffs, etc., and on the side of the patient as well as the public. Now, because of COVID, we are taking all this precaution. So we can pass on infection from one person to another person because of poor hygiene and poor sanitation. And always, we never go for antimicrobial studies like detection of microorganisms in a particular material like sputum, stool, say discharge, or say pus, urine, etc. And we never ask for what we call as culture and antibiotic sensitivity. We always give antibiotic on empirical ground. Ideally speaking, it should be given only after detection of a microorganism in a particular sample and after getting antibiotic sensitivity. But we never follow this criteria, and we are creating antibiotic resistance. Now, this is few slides. You should understand this very well. 11,000 of ton of antibiotics are prescribed. You can see 150 millions are getting antibiotic prescription, almost from antibiotic prescription. 50% of human beings are getting from this particular prescription. And it is written by a physician. You can see in an animal also, parallel to human being, in an animal also, it is almost up to 10,000 tons. This is another big area. There's almost, we say that 40% of the antibiotic prescription is from different farming industries. And you can see 1%, 0.1% is in a plant industries, or we call as farmings, and aquaculture, that is in a fishery, 1%, around 200 tons. So out of 22,000 tons, biggest is utilized in human being and in animals. And we are the biggest nuisance on the earth. We are creating antibiotic resistance. And these are the other area, that is animal farms, bird farming industry, or we call poultry farms, then different industries, animal industry. We are creating those. And from there, it is easily spread to our table, that is to human beings. So that is what we create. And this is how this slide is showing you how we are spreading the infection from animal industries, slurry, then from slurry to soil, and from soil, we spread to the human being. This is veterinary medicines, which is containing very big amount of antibiotics, all different industries, animal industry, bird industry, aquaculture, farming industries, even agriculture industries, etc. So these are all slides which shows you lot number of faults which we are creating in our area. You can see that we are giving large number of antibiotics to even these birds. So you can see that graph is increasing. So the amount of antibiotic use is increasing in poultry farms as well as also in human beings. And in near future, it has gone higher use in animal industry rather than the human beings. So we should pay attention to this. So overuse, abuse, etc. will create antibiotic resistance. And it is said that at present, you can see that use of drug has been more than double between 2000 to 2015. And in 15 years, almost the use of antibiotic has become double. And if you see in India, it has increased by 65%. And almost it has increased up to 103%. So in India, the use is tremendous. We have to restrict this particular use, and it should be done at multiple levels. So we have to avoid all this. Why we want to avoid? We don't want antibiotic resistance to occur. We don't want to create those superbugs. So we have said, because of overuse, because of misuse, we are creating microorganisms which are resistant to routine antibiotics. So we don't want misuse, overuse, abuse to occur. Now, this is a one very, very common slide which is shown in almost all CME. A person comes with a routine viral infection we call cold and flu. What we prescribe? Straight for an antibiotic. Antibiotic is not going to cure or is not going to increase the effect on virus. On the top, even if you don't give any drugs, person will recover in 4 to 5 days. So it is not going to work on this viral infection. You can say this slide is showing you the same thing. A young girl, she has got cold and flu, and antibiotic is prescribed. It does not speed up the recovery. So never prescribe antibiotic in routine viral infections. You can see this. These are all different viral infections which can occur. And still we prescribe them a good number of antibiotics because we do not investigate properly or we do not examine them properly. So stop self-medication, another very important part. Now, you know, in India and particularly in Gujarat, it is the biggest problem that a person goes to a pharmacist. He just says that mane tav aave che, and pharmacist will give the medicine. And good number of time, antibiotic is being given, which a person will take for 2 or 3 days. Even if he doesn't take, he'll be all right. And he'll stop taking those drugs. And now during this particular period, he's creating antibiotic because antibiotic is not going to work on viral infection. So will not cure that infection, won't keep the other people from getting sick, won't help you or your child to feel better, will cause unnecessarily harmful side effects, and will promote antibiotic resistance. This we should prevent. So it is the biggest threat in our society. So self-medication should be avoided. And here, pharmacists can help them. So it is at the level of pharmacists can take part in prevention. You can see that this is a slide from UK. Out of 3, 1 patient in England that is in hospital is receiving antibiotic at any one time. And also the person who is not hospitalized, he is also receiving out of 3, means indirectly 33% of the people are receiving antibiotic at any time in each year. You can see the biggest misuse. In India, it is more. So we take antibiotic as overuse. During breakfast, we take antibiotic. During lunch also we take antibiotic. And during dinner also we take antibiotic. Indirectly, we are consuming antibiotic all throughout the day because it is overuse, it is misuse, it is abuse. So biggest misuse is done by a doctor. Second, by self-medication, etc. This we should try to prevent. And we should avoid misuse, abuse, overuse. We should not use at breakfast, lunch, and at dinner. See how much amount of antibiotic a person is consuming in a year. Lot number of antibiotic. Now even the antibiotic are taken as a snacks also. They do not complete the course. If at all, if they require, complete course should be finished. So that should be also avoided. Now we know that the mechanism of antibiotic resistance, it can be intrinsic method or by acquired. And among acquired, it is genetic mutations. So mutation of gene or because of change in the plasmid. I'm not going into detail regarding those particular things. So it is because of enzymatic destruction, prevention of a drug penetration and accumulation, alteration of antibiotic target sites, and rapid ejection of a drugs. These are all the other different methods by which you develop an antibiotic resistance. So non-resistance bacteria becomes resistance. They will go on multiplying. The mycobacterium, which are not resistance, they will be killed, but the resistance microorganism will survive and they will multiply, and then they will create a dangerous illness in that particular person, and it will increase the mortality. Similar thing is shown. This is a resistance organism. It will survive, it will multiply, and then it will create infections. So we don't want this to occur. We want all microorganisms to be non-resistance, so they can be easily killed by a routine antimicrobials. And this is a circle which is created by us. Increased use of antibiotic creates increased resistance strain. Because of increased resistance strain, in spite of empiric treatment, there's an increased morbidity and more antibiotic is utilized. As you utilize more and more antibiotic, person will have an increased hospitalization, again, increased use of antibiotic. Your resources will be utilized, expensive, and limited treatment alternative will be available because we don't have antibiotics which are now effective on resistance microorganisms. Hence, mortality rate will increase and this circle continues. So we don't want that to occur. Similar thing is shown here: infection, antimicrobial use, antimicrobial resistance, and you get resistant pathogens and which will create a dangerous illness. We have to kill at each level, prevent infection, effective diagnosis and treatment. You should use culture and antibiotic sensitivity and confirm the diagnosis properly. And optimum use of antibiotic for optimum period, optimum dose should be utilized so that you can prevent antibiotic resistance. And we want to prevent the transmission. This is by personal hygiene. So this is very, very important. So we know that because of antibiotic resistance, the expense is more, the cost effective is more, and we result into increased mortality. You can see this is in United States. Each year, this is a long back. This is 5-year or 10-year slides. So 23,000 deaths each year because of microbial resistance. And this number must be almost double or more than double also at this stage. So we should avoid creating an antibiotic resistance because it will create serious illness, longer recovery, more hospitalization, frequent hospitalization, more doctor visit, more expense. And we want to avoid all this. And we at present, we have got lot number of microorganisms which are resistant to these different drugs. And we get these disorders like pneumonia, dysentery, enteric fever, gonorrhea, tuberculosis. We are facing biggest problem in tuberculosis. We call MDR tuberculosis. And you can have hospital-borne infection like S. aureus, Klebsiella, Pseudomonas, E. coli, etc. And they are resistant to routine antimicrobial. So these are all different resistance. We call penicillin resistant streptococci, multi-drug resistant streptococci, methicillin resistant Staph aureus, then community acquired methicillin resistance, vancomycin resistance, Staphylococcus aureus, vancomycin intermediate, vancomycin resistance, enterococcus, etc. Still, there are many more which are there in the market. They are easily available and they create large number of infection and they create a high mortality. So resistant organism leads to a treatment failure, increased mortality. Resistant bacteria may spread in community. There will be low level of resistance can be undetected. It will increase the burden on the healthcare and it will increase the cost and threatens to return to a pre-antibiotic era. Impossible. We'll never come to this pre-antibiotic era. And there is always a pressure on a doctor to select an antibiotic because of antibiotic resistance. Which antibiotic will be effective? We cannot. So we have got a super bugs which we are creating. So we don't want that to occur. Around 5-10 years back, one of the super bugs which was found in India was labeled as a Delhi superbug. So we don't want any superbug to be labeled behind any of our nation countries. So antibiotic sensitivity is a term utilized to describe the susceptibility of the bacteria to the antibiotics. And we know that antibiotic sensitivity test should be done, and then you should select an antibiotic, proper antibiotic. And by choosing the right drug, giving for a proper period of time, proper dose, you achieve a good inhibitory concentration, will not create antibiotic resistance. And always select bactericidal drug rather than bacteriostatic drugs. So culture and antibiotic sensitivity must be done. to confirm the diagnosis of bacterial infection. No doubt it is little expensive, but ideally it should be done. At the level of hospital, this is another big problem in our India. At the level of hospital, ideally all hospitals should do what is called as an antibacterial policy. In a frequent period, say in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months period, they should have antibiograms from all the different departments, all the different areas, and find out which organism is present, to what drug it is resistance. You should do a thorough study, and you should have a previous antibacterial therapy chart also available. Then auditing is being done, and then they decide which antibiotic you should utilize for next 2 or 3 months. And that should be done at the level of hospital. So you should decrease the misuse, overuse, restrict all this to decrease antibiotic resistance, control the spread of infection by taking all proper precaution, using proper antibiograms, taking personal hygiene, etc. And that can reduce what we call as spread of infection and creation of antibiotic resistance. And also it will reduce the cost as well as it will reduce the side effects. So hospital antibiogram is very, very useful, and that should be done and decided by all faculties of that hospital, all department, including microbiology department. And you should select a proper antibiotic. Say a person has got E. faecalis infection. By and large, they are resistant to penicillin. You should use a proper antibiotic like vancomycin, ampicillin, etc. So there is a big list which is available, and it should be utilized by a hospital. Which antibiotic should be selected, that is decided by a hospital authority. These are all the different organisms, and these are the resistance to what? And these are the antibiotic which should be utilized. That chart should be available in each department. And frequently, it should be repeated and revised. So selection of antibiotic, reduce inappropriate prescription of antibiotic, because inappropriate prescription will increase the antibiotic resistance. So for that, you have to increase the public awareness, and this public awareness can be increased by either by what we call as a WhatsApps. You can have a mini conferences, by public awareness, by different conferences, etc. Media can also take part. Another thing what we can do at the level of agriculture. In agriculture, the antibiotic utilized as almost sometime is more than even human beings. This should be reduced. Increased number of patients who finishes that course. You have to explain that person, you should finish this entire course, even if you feel better. What they do, they stop the drugs, and whenever they get the similar symptoms, they again retake those medicines. This should be avoided. You should explain those particular to the patient. Restrict the use of newer antibiotic. Say person comes with a mild upper respiratory tract infection. Don't use methicillin. Don't use carbapenem. Those are for resistance microorganism. Lot number of institute also misuse those antibiotics. Now there is an era that in near future, you will have to investigate and find out some vaccine for microorganism. At present, we have got very few vaccine for very few diseases, but we don't have vaccine for all microorganisms. And in another treatment, which is a site for a biggest research, is a phage treatment. So in near future, this will be one of the treatment which will be required. And you will require a large number of different vaccines to be taken each year. And it will increase your expenses also as a prophylaxis. So always it is a better. Whenever you want to use an antibiotic, antibiotics should be used wisely. So when needed, then only you prescribe. But this has to be decided after a proper examination, proper investigation, and then only that antibiotic should be prescribed. Now, how we can prevent and who should take part? First is a doctor, because doctor is a person who is prescribing. So at the level of the doctor, proper dose, we call right dose, right time, right patient, for right duration of the time, it should be given, and it should be explained properly to the patient. In this busy society, in this busy practice, we skip a lot of these things. We just prescribe, we never explain anything to the patient. It is a major fault on the part of a doctor. But ideally, we should take part in that particular thing. Second, it is at the level of patient. Patient should understand that whatever drug has been prescribed for a period, he should complete that particular course. If he gets a side effect, he should again contact back the doctor. He should not stop, he should not overuse, he should not misuse, or he should not underuse. Then comes the role of pharmacist. In our Gujarat, we know that any medicine you can get very easily. You just have to stand by the side of the pharmacist and say that I've got malaria, give me the treatment, and the drugs will be given. This should be avoided, and that can be done by pharmacological department. Now the role of society comes. Society should be also involved in this particular part, because if society takes a part, we all, these three people, that is doctor, patient, and pharmacist, can follow the proper criteria. Now what happens? When some ill event occurs, society becomes aggressive and they start beating a doctor. This is the worst part which is taking part at present in our society. Then comes the role of government. At the government level, there should be a strict rule to the pharmacist, strict rule for the doctor, and there should be strict rule for even society. Rules are being laid down, but they are never followed by any one of these people: doctor, patient, pharmacist, and also by society. So prevention has to be done by every person, not by doctor, not only by doctor, not only by pharmacist. It has to be by each and every person, and each and every person belongs to doctor, patients, pharmacist, and society, including even government. Everyone has to take part. So media has to also get involved in this particular preventive programs. So prevention should be done by all. Stop misuse, stop overuse, stop abuse, and stop underuse if you want to prevent antibiotic resistance. So protect all and protect our next generation from biological attack. And we are the people who are already, we have created lot number of biological bombs, and they are freely available in our environment. We don't want newer and newer biological bombs to occur. So at right time, right drug, right patient, no distraction during medical rounds, right dose, for right routes, right duration of time, we should use it. So if you want to help, take prescribed antibiotic as per norms. Even if symptoms subsides, this is for patient. The previous slide was for doctor. If symptoms subsides, do not discontinue antibiotic before completion of the course. Never take antibiotic prescribed to someone else. Now it is a very good term. Someone has got a little cough and cold. The parents only will say, "Le ne dawa le le, thai jase saru." This should be avoided. Take them exactly as your provider has prescribed. Who are the provider? Doctor. So that should be taken as per guidelines by a doctor. Do not save the antibiotic for second episode. Do not consume the antibiotic after expiry period. Good number of time the antibiotic is present in the cupboard, and even if it is expired, lay levai, chale, vando nahi ave, kaso problem nahi thai. This should be avoided. Do not take the antibiotic for routine cold and flu, which are viral infections. Only using antibiotic whenever necessary for bacterial infection after a thorough checkup and after a antibiotic sensitivity test, culture and antibiotic sensitivity test. Always talk with the doctor about alternative to antibiotics if it is available. Avoid using antibiotic frequently or for extended period unless necessary. Never break up or crush the antibiotic pills and then consume it. See that antibiotic is taken properly, because some antibiotic has to be taken on empty stomachs, say like what we call as azithromycin should be taken on an empty stomach. Avoid dairy foods, fruits, fruit juices, and alcohol for 3 hours after taking antibiotic. Good number of antibiotic absorption is being hampered. You will have a decreased effect of antibiotics when they are taken together with some of this material. Some material will increase the absorption. So all these things should be, precautions should be taken. Doctor have to stop giving unnecessary antibiotic prescription. This is on the side of a doctor. Patient must follow and complete antibiotic prescription. Right antibiotic should be given after antibiotic sensitivity test. Stop the use of antibiotic as the growth promoting substance in the farm animals. So this is for animal industries. So these are the 6 smart things which we can do. Antibiotics are life-saving. We should understand that. Antibiotics are only for bacterial infection, not for viral infection. Good number of ear infections are not by bacteria, so they do not require antibiotic. Sore throat is viral infection. Good number of time. We say 95% of the time it is a viral infection, and antibiotics are prescribed or they are self-medication. This should be avoided. Green color mucus is not always bacterial infection. So always think in that term. Have a good examination, have a proper investigation, and after culture and antibiotic sensitivity, then only you should give antibiotic. There are potential risks of taking antibiotic. So always see that you are giving a proper dose for proper period of time. This should be kept in mind. So antibiotic resistance is good number of time because of failure of complete therapy, skipping the prescribed dose, self-medication, and reuse of leftover antibiotics. This is the most common thing done by a patient. This should be avoided. They say there are 12 steps. Impossible. First is vaccination. Yet we don't have a vaccine for all microorganisms. Yes, this we can do. Get catheter out as early as possible. Target the pathogens. Always take the advice of expert. Have a practice of antimicrobial control. These are all required at the level of hospital. Treat the infection. Use the local data by that particular hospital. Treat the infection, not colonization. Know when to say no to the vancomycin. Stop treatment when the person is cured. Isolate the pathogens and contain the contagiousness. Prevent transmission. Use antimicrobial wisely. Diagnose and treat effectively to prevent the infections. So this should be done. What is the most important? Now this is what is being created. We are all the people who are creating this resistance. So we should take an active part in prevention. Now viral infection does not require antibiotic. We should keep this thing in mind. So without a proper investigation, we should not give antibiotic. It is for a doctor and also for the quacks, which is more in India. Now this is another very common things. Some relative comes to us in our hospital. We give some sample. What the person will consider, આ તો table ઉપર પડ્યું હતું એટલે મને આપી દીધું. Free માં પડ્યું હતું એટલે આપી દીધું. And they will not consume it. This is one part of it. And usually we do not have a full course available. We say them rest of the course you purchase from the market. They do not purchase that. They will complete 2 or 3 days and they will stop that. This should not happen. This is another very common problem because we give them some of the drugs from our table. Without proper direction, patients should not take medicines. They do not maintain the dose. They cut down the dose. They do not complete the dose. All this should be avoided. These are all small things. Say no to misuse of antibiotics. Very, very important. And spread of resistant microorganism can be prevented by most important part, which we are doing now, but good number of people are not following that particular criteria. We call personal hygiene, is proper washing of hand. It is not only washing, it is proper washing of hands. So that should be done. Encourage hand washing. Make sure that your children receives a proper timely immunization, and keep the kids out of school when they are sick. This should be done at the level of parents. If your kids are going to school, that should be properly taken care. So encourage the hand washing, proper and timely immunization should be done. And when the kid is sick, keep them away from the school. This is the must. And washing should be by a proper soap or an antiseptic solution should be done to prevent the spread of multi-resistance drug organism to another person. This is for the doctor, paramedical staffs, etc. And even if you visit the hospital, when you go home, take this precaution. Otherwise, you will get that resistant microorganism infection. This precaution should be taken. This is a very common thing which we are following now because of COVID, that any person who has got infection, and if he's having cough, you should cover your mouth during coughing. So you prevent the spread of infection by that also. This is a must. All proper antiseptic precautions should be taken. A regular good exercise, early morning walk, improves your immune system. Yes, proper hygiene, very, very important. A proper advice given by a doctor should be followed properly. In each hospital, there should be a regulatory body which should formulate a proper procedure, and that should be followed by all, each department. And if you want to defeat and multi-drug resistance and you want to enjoy the life, all these precautions should be taken and prevention should be done. Now, this is for the pharma industry. You have to develop a new antibiotics, but you know that the newer antibiotic development takes a very long period. And you can see here, in a current period, the number of antibiotics which are, this is 2008 and 2009 chart. We have got very few antibiotics in a pipeline for newer antibiotic which are available. So development of a newer antibiotic, you require a drug which should bypass the drug resistance. And this can be done by what we call as a pharma industry. And at the level of doctor, paramedical staff, patient himself, judicious use of existing antibiotics should be done to containment of drug resistance. And for a pharma industry, that should be a help by microbiologist, physician, and pharmacist. These three should take part to have a nice balance and investigate properly, find out which antibiotic will be very useful, which will be more beneficial, less side effects, and will give you good results. There are a large number of different society and different headings under which they are working. One of the, they call HAPI, Healthy Antimicrobial Prescribing Initiative. Under this, they take all the precaution to prescribe properly. There is another which we call as a SMART, that is study for monitoring antimicrobial resistant trends. Now, these all things are necessary, but we should not be totally dependent. If we take all precaution, we don't require this particular group also. So get smart, know when the antibiotic works, know when the antibiotic should be used. You should know when the antibiotic should not be used. There is another thing, National Antibiotic Resistant Monitoring System. This society takes part in what we call as prevention and finding out the antibiotic resistance organism and finding out the antibiotic which will be effective on those resistance microorganisms. We should try to prevent all this. Now, there is one particular day which is they are awareing. So that is called Antibiotic Awareness Week. And that is between 18th to 24th November. Why it should be this day only? It should be the entire day. Every day should be Antibiotic Awareness Day. Everyone should be aware on each day. It should not be 1 week. So in conclusion, antibiotic microbial resistance is an emerging global threat. It is one of the threat among 3 dangerous threats in this world at present. We should form a proper strategy to prevent the development of antibiotic resistance. Judicious use of antimicrobial agent by healthcare workers and by general population. Prevention can be done by unjudicious use of antibiotic in animal industry and farming industry also. Avoiding incorporation of antibiotic in commercial cleansing products. Proper pharmaceutical waste management. There are many more what we have talked about. As far as take-home message is concerned, doctor should prescribe target definitive therapy after knowing the pathogens. We should treat the infection, not contamination. We should not treat the colonization. We should treat the infection only. Say no to vancomycin when it is not necessary. Isolate the pathogens. Have a proper antibiotic sensitivity test. Break the chain of contagious, that is spread of infection, and start a simple bedside test, that is what we call as a gram stain, microscopic examination, and then decide what antibiotic you want to use. So I thank you all. Help your antibiotic do their job. You don't choose an antibiotic which should create an antibiotic resistance. So take as directed by a doctor. Finish the full prescribed dose. If you are feeling even better, finish up the full course. So you are helping to prevent the antibiotic resistance. As far as a doctor is concerned, doctor should think before prescribing, are we using the right drug for right bugs, for right patient, right dose, etc. This is my site on a YouTube. I've already uploaded this particular lecture on my YouTube. That is Dr. Janak J. Patel, MD 2020 Patel. So it is available in YouTube. At your leisure time, you can go through.
What if I told you there were trillions of tiny bacteria all around you? It's true. Microorganisms called bacteria.
This is a small video clip. It is very interesting. Just listen to that.
Bacteria were some of the first life forms to appear on Earth. Though they consist of only a single cell, their total biomass is greater than that of all plants and animals combined. And they live virtually everywhere. On the ground, in the water, on your kitchen table, on your skin, even inside you. Don't reach for the panic button just yet. Although you have 10 times more bacterial cells inside you than your body has human cells, many of these bacteria are harmless or even beneficial. Helping digestion and immunity. But there are a few bad apples that can cause harmful infections, from minor inconveniences to deadly epidemics. Fortunately, there are amazing medicines designed to fight bacterial infections. Synthesized from chemicals or occurring naturally in things like mold, these antibiotics kill or neutralize bacteria by interrupting cell wall synthesis or interfering with vital processes like protein synthesis, all while leaving human cells unharmed. The deployment of antibiotics over the course of the 20th century has rendered many previously dangerous diseases easily treatable. But today, more and more of our antibiotics are becoming less effective.
This is what we are
Did
creating.
something go wrong to make them stop working? The problem is not with the antibiotics, but the bacteria they were made to fight. and the reason lies in Darwin's theory of natural selection. Just like any other organisms, individual bacteria can undergo random mutations. Many of these mutations are harmful or useless, but every now and then one comes along that gives its organism an edge in survival. And for a bacterium, a mutation making it resistant to a certain antibiotic gives quite the edge. As the non-resistant bacteria are killed off, which happens especially quickly in antibiotic-rich environments like hospitals, there is more room and resources for the resistant ones to thrive, passing along only the mutated genes that helped them do so. Reproduction isn't the only way to do this. Some can release their DNA upon death to be picked up by other bacteria, while others use a method called conjugation, connecting through pili to share their genes.
This is how the
Over
resistance
time,
is
the
created.
resistant genes proliferate, creating entire strains of resistant superbacteria.
These are called superbugs.
So how much time do we have before these superbugs take over? Well, in some bacteria, it's already happened. For instance, some strands of Staphylococcus aureus,
Biggest nuisance at present we are having is Staph aureus.
which causes everything from skin infections to pneumonia and sepsis, have developed into MRSA, becoming resistant to beta-lactam antibiotics like penicillin, methicillin, and oxacillin.
And they are even resistant
Thanks
to
to
now
a gene that
vancomycin.
replaces the protein beta-lactams normally target and bind to, MRSA can keep making its cell walls unimpeded. Other superbacteria like Salmonella even sometimes produce enzymes like beta-lactamase that break down antibiotic attackers before they can do any damage. And E. coli, a diverse group of bacteria that contains strains that cause diarrhea and kidney failure, can prevent the function of antibiotics like quinolones by actively booting any invaders that manage to enter the cell. But there is good news. Scientists are working to stay one step ahead of the bacteria. And although development of new antibiotics has slowed in recent years, the World Health Organization has made it a priority to develop novel treatments. Other scientists are investigating alternate solutions, such as phage therapy or using vaccines to prevent infections.
This is far away,
Most
yet we
importantly,
do not
curbing
have
the excessive and
vaccine for
unnecessary
all
use of
microorganisms
antibiotics, such as for
which are
minor
resistant.
infections that can resolve on their own, as well as changing medical practice to prevent hospital infections.
This is the most
can have a
important
major
part.
impact by keeping more non-resistant bacteria alive as competition
Hygiene
for
is a
resistant
must.
strains. In the war against superbacteria, de-escalation may sometimes work better than an evolutionary arms race. What if I told you there were trillions of tiny bacteria all around you? It's true.
Yes, sir.
અને ચેન્જ કરી દેવાનું હવે પહેલા છેલ્લી સ્લાઇડ આવશે.
Micro
ચેક છેલ્લી સ્લાઇડ હવે. ઓકે. હા બસ એકલી જ. હા ઉપરની હા બસ. So I thank you all for taking out time. I know that your time is valuable and I appreciate you for spending some of the time.
Thank you very much, sir. Generally, after lunch sessions are very difficult for the participants, but thank you for providing in-depth knowledge with video presentation as well as the interesting pictorial presentation about the antibiotic resistance. We have 2-3 questions
Sure.
there.
Welcome.
Sir, the first question is how to differentiate viral and bacterial infections, because always doctors say that it is a viral infection.
I'll say the other way around. Almost 95% of the upper respiratory tract, that is આપણે કઈ શરદી ખાંસી તાવ, આપણે શરદી ખાંસી થતી હોય, 95% of the time it is viral infection. And only in 5% of the case it is bacterial. Usually in bacterial, you will have what we call as a thick tenacious sputum. While in viral, usually we don't come across thick tenacious sputum. So on a clinical ground, it is very easy to differentiate between the two groups. So it is on the part of a doctor to differentiate. But what happens? It is bad on the part of a doctor because doctor wants a fast recovery also. So he prescribes an antibiotic. And on the part of the patient also wants a speedy recovery. So doctor prescribes antibiotic. But antibiotic is absolutely useless in a viral infection. So you should wait for 1 or 2 days in viral infection because it was a term in our old age that દવા ન લો તો પણ 5 દિવસ લાગે અને દવા લો તો પણ 5 દિવસ લાગે. એટલે whichever way you follow.
Yes, rightly said. Sir, one of our participants feels that antibiotics should be as a controlled substance like narcotic drug because misuse creates so much complications.
Yes, it should be. It should be. Because it is so much misuse in India. At present, we are the first largest user of antibiotics. More than even UK and USA. It should be under control. And that can be done by government and that can be done by all we call pharmaceutical company also.
Okay, sir. Last question. In today's clinical practice, mostly drugs are giving antibiotic treatment prescription in a viral infection. If in such case, we can substitute the prescription, then it will be legal or not?
Ideally, antibiotics should not be given. In a viral infection, what you require is a symptomatic treatment. We use the word symptomatic. Say this person is having body ache, pain, etc. We prescribe. I prescribe only paracetamol. I don't give any other medicine. Say person is having sneezing, little cough, little cold. I'll prescribe antihistaminic with paracetamol. I'll not give antibiotics. So I'm a bad doctor because I'm not prescribing antibiotic. I'm a bad doctor for pharmacists. I'm a bad doctor for pharmaceutical industry also. Just joking, huh?
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for answering the questions. Now we are moving toward our last session of today's refresher course. That is delivered by Dr. Chirag Modi, sir. Attendance link and MCQ link. Attendance link and MCQ link is available in the chat box, so kindly go through it.